welcome to NEK-TV Rocks, and my guests today are Toni Rushlow and Tanya Matten. And we have a third guest, which is really unusual, and it's why we're not sitting behind stage, whatever it is here. We have Lexi, who is a very active member of your group, I understand, but fortunately she's really quiet right now. You guys are part of a group called Friends for Life, which is dog rescue. How did you get started?
Tanya and I actually aren't founding members, but have joined shortly after. The organization was started by several friends who had volunteered at other local rescues and shelters and such that saw the need for an additional dog rescue in the area. So in October of 2020, they founded Friends for Life and got the 501c3 status.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what you do is a little different from the other. Let me backtrack for a second. There are basically three organizations up here for animal rescue. There's the Pope Memorial Clinic, whatever you want to call it, facility, shelter.
Yep.
There's you, Friends for Life, and there's Felines and Friends, which is a cat rescue, but it's mostly spay and neuter as opposed to straight taking in somebody's cat and rehoming it. I mean,
exactly.
That obviously happens sometimes, and I've fostered for them.
Yes.
So
I think everyone has, right?
So there's definitely overlap here. But you guys don't have a facility. What you do is you take in individual dogs, foster them until they're ready to find their forever home. And sometimes they stay in the foster home.
Correct.
Yep.
For those who have been sort of watching what's happened recently in the Northeast Kingdom, there have been a couple of very high-profile dog rescues. One of which was the dog who decided to pick a fight with a porcupine.
Yes.
Which is a very painful and very expensive process.
Yes.
And that dog then got dumped at the shelter, right?
Yes.
And of course, I know where the dog is living now.
Yes,
So
yeah, she's living the best life she could.
that's a really happy ever after
Yes.
story, but it was pretty traumatic along the way.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was the dog that we all knew as Buckethead, which is a really sad story, which may or may not have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've picked a tough route to go. So tell me about Lexi.
So Lexi came to us. Unfortunately, her owner was incarcerated, and none of the family members were able to keep her. So the owner gave permission to the family to find more suitable arrangements for her. They originally had sent her to Pope in Orleans, who have quite a few dogs right now. And when she came to us just last week, her skin was in terrible condition. She's got chronic ear infections, and she just was more suited for a foster home as opposed to the kennel setting. So we, talked with Pope. We worked with them, and we made the arrangement that she would come to us the very next day to get her treatment started and have that more, one-on-one treatment for her issues. And and she's a sweet girl.
You get her stabilized. She's in a foster home, and you just happen to be the foster parent, is that right?
Yep.
And then when you decide she's ready, and I presume there's a whole lot of things that go into that process.
Yep.
It's not as simple as, we open that she's fixed medically, open the door, she can go.
Exactly.
Right. How does that process happen?
Do you want to?
You can go for it. You're the one that starts the process.
So typically, once we have them, if they are okay enough medically, they'll get posted on social media and Pet Finder and other platforms such as that to get them exposed, as well as bringing them to events and such. Once they have interest in them and we get applications, we have a online e-sign document for all of our paperwork, so people can fill applications out on our website, and then we have to go through the process of ensuring that not only is an appropriate home for an animal, but making sure it's an appropriate home for that animal to ensure success. And then once that happens, we, if they're all approved and it's a good match, then the dog would meet the people, meet any other pets in the home, make sure everything goes well. And then for us, we do a foster to adopt for all of our dogs. It's not just a straight up adoption. They go into the home for 1 to 3 months. process to
Yeah.
ensure that it's a good match before we finalize things.
Now, as far as the approval process, they do a vet check
Uh-huh.
to make sure previous animals and if they've been taken care
Sure.
of and whatnot.
Yeah. Landlords, if they have a landlord, to make sure they're allowed to have pets where they are.
Right.
Yeah. We, on occasion we'll do like a reference check, but, let's be honest, most of us, if we put a reference on an application, they're going to give us a good reference
Obviously.
anyways.
I
So,
know.
Right.
so that one's not, unless they don't really have anything else to go off of. If they haven't
Right.
had pets or something, then, we would check that. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you two been doing this?
Do you can go first.
I've been about a year, I think. I started off fostering when they had a puppy. There are puppies that come in, and I started off fostering, and then went from there. And then I ended up. They had an opening on the board and asked if
You
I was
just
interested.
walked right
in.
in.
Absolutely.
You did. It was perfect.
Yep, I loved it, and I still
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I wanted and what I was needing something to put into my life now that my kids are all grown and whatnot. I have grandkids and whatnot, but the dogs, I have 4 of my own.
Oh. So it was a perfect match for you.
Yes, and it was a time I needed because I had lost one of my own. So, yep.
And you have the energy to give to something that you're passionate
Oh,
about.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I find it.
Does your organization need more board members, volunteers?
Board members right now, Vermont, I think the capacity is 7, and we're at 5, so we're good with board members, but
Okay.
we can always use volunteers. We
Absolutely.
can always use foster
Fosters.
homes. Yeah,
Always.
Yes, even something as simple as if someone, has a spare hour and they want to take a dog for a walk, or they can make a run with a dog from a foster home to the vet office.
That's very
all
helpful.
those types of things.
Very helpful.
So, so you're showing off. Bob. So there's lots of different opportunities to be a volunteer.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So fostering's a big commitment.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I know when I fostered cats,
Yeah.
because I've usually taken a cat in who's too pregnant to go to the regular shelter.
Yep.
So in effect, you're fostering a cat and a whole bunch of kittens because
Yes.
they arrive any day now. And if you've lived with kittens, you know what that's like.
Oh, yes.
They're pretty disruptive.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
really have to have the whole of the household committed to the process.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't always work well, but
Yeah.
we've done it.
Exactly.
It's a different kind of commitment with a dog
Yeah.
because dog needs to go out, dog needs exercise.
Yes.
And letting the dog into the yard is not adequate exercise, and there's a whole host of. So, do you have a process for volunteers as well?
More so, it's really just if they're willing to help, and then we have a conversation with them about, their availability for one, and then also the types of things that they're looking to help with.
Yeah.
So, like we said, the dog things, or even, some people want to help animals, but they don't want to do it hands-on with the animal
Sure.
themselves.
Raise money,
Exactly. There's always opportunities.
sell shirts,
Yes,
Absolutely.
t-shirts, sweatshirts.
model the shirts, ladies.
Yes.
They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And even like we have a bake sale on the 23rd. Some people want to bake things for that.
Just drop it off, yes.
Yeah,
It's a very big help.
Sell them at the bake sale.
Yeah,
We have
that too.
yard sales,
Yeah.
all those types of things.
Yeah.
So there's ways to help even
Help
if you
sell
don't want
raffle
to.
tickets.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming that COVID made a big difference in what was happening with animals up here, because when COVID first hit and people were sort of locked in, suddenly everybody wanted a dog or a cat in
Dog.
their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them didn't put very much thought into that.
Yes.
What happens when the world opens up again and I have to go back to my day job?
Yes.
It's great while I'm sitting home. What happens then?
Yeah, that's definitely been a big issue. It's great that so many people got animals.
Yeah.
But now we're on the backside of that, where
Right.
reality is hit. We need to go to regular life, and people think that they may not have time for those dogs that they got. A lot of times you do. You just have to, figure
it
out a different
differently.
way.
Prioritize.
Yes.
Exactly.
So are you helping with that as well?
If we can, our goal is always if we can help that person figure out a way to keep the dog, we'd rather do that.
Absolutely.
Why pull a dog from their home where they are loved
I
just because the
totally
person
agree.
doesn't know the resources available?
Yeah.
So now you're a dog counseling agency.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I would love
Yeah.
nothing more than to help
Why
somebody
not?
keep it.
I
Absolutely.
mean, that would be wonderful to do.
Yes.
Yes.
And it would be such a great service.
Yes, and so we had someone who was going to be surrendering their dog to us next week, and they ended up figuring things out. They realized they didn't want to. They begged their new landlord, and they're able to keep the dog.
So there are ways around
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
sometimes it requires a little help and
Yes.
somebody to help problem solve.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little work.
Yeah, and that's not to say, there are, of course, situations where someone may have gotten a dog and it really just isn't the best match for
Right.
them.
That
And in
too.
that case, we're not going to be like, well, try this, when in the end, the dog is who they are and the person is who they
Right.
are. And
Still the
sometimes
same outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
mean-
really the nuance of
Lexi clearly needs somebody who has energy for
yes,
her because she's super friendly
yes.
and
Lexi
she
is-
needs exercise.
Lexi's how old?
7. She's
She's
7.
She's 7.
Yes.
She's a spry lady.
You
Yes,
go,
she
girl.
Ah. I know you hear the bag of
It's
treats.
great, actually.
Yeah.
And clearly,
girl.
she may have been a little physically neglected when she came to you,
Yeah.
but this is not a dog who's been abused.
No, this dog was
No.
clearly loved.
Yeah,
The,
absolutely.
unfortunate circumstances,
Right.
but part of it, like with the ears and such, may have been that, especially in the area right now, we do have an issue with veterinary offices closing.
We certainly
Yes,
do.
and
Yes,
I'm sure you heard
unfortunately.
last night that Danville is closing.
I know.
At
It's
the end
awful.
of December.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
it's
It's awful.
So
It's
Yeah.
not, and it's not just veterinarian practices; it's medical practices.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, the people
apparently we
everywhere.
don't need any services up here,
No.
yeah,
according
it's-
to the rest of the state.
Yes.
Don't get me started on that one.
Exactly. So yeah, she clearly was loved, and just
She is.
sometimes the resources either aren't available to that person or they're just not aware of them.
And they're expensive,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is really a big factor.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't know a way of chipping away at that other than through donations and
Yes,
seeing what else we
correct.
can do. And really encouraging people not to take on an animal that is more than they can handle.
Yes.
That and spay
Yes.
and neuter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as we age, we should not take on young animals.
Yeah. And it's everyone loves a puppy, but
Or a kitten,
Right,
yay!
yeah,
kitten too,
exactly.
yeah.
But that one longevity. It's the animal's going
Right.
to live usually 15 years, give or take, and
Right.
we
It's a big
don't want to
commitment.
face it, but mortality is a thing, and if we don't, even if we think we have family lined up or something for that pet, things fall through. Their
It
life
doesn't
situation
happen that way,
changes. And, yeah.
And
And-
we have certainly inherited some of our cats because of other people
Yeah.
being unable, going into a retirement home or
Right.
something like that,
Yeah.
or a nursing home.
Yep.
Yes.
But, that kind of planning is hard to do.
It really is, because you don't know what point that's going to happen at, and when
No.
it does,
Right.
what point your
No.
animal's going to be at, and so
Yeah.
to prepare as well as you can. Sometimes thinking at the beginning, if you are older, there's so many dogs, and you don't have to get a 13-year-old dog. There's oh, I dropped the treats. There's 7-year-old
Canine
dogs.
vacuum cleaner will be right there.
Exactly. So we're not saying that you have to get an ancient dog who's
No.
not, but
No.
a middle-aged dog, and that's going to have the right energy level, and maybe not her because she's got a high energy for her age, but
I think she has a high energy, period.
Yes.
Her age has nothing to do with
exactly.
it.
She's just got a lot of spirit in her.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
She's going to be a fabulous dog for
Yes.
somebody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She'll be hard for you to let go.
For me, not so much. It's usually my husband who tries to keep them
He
all.
does too.
I love them, but
Which is
I
awesome
know
to
there's
have
a
that support.
yes,
Yeah.
there's a purpose
Absolutely.
behind it, and I already
Right.
got 4 of my own dogs,
Yes.
so.
And you work for a vet.
Yes, exactly, which is why I have so many animals.
Exactly.
She gets a doggy cat fix every day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because there's resident
absolutely.
critters there,
Yes,
as
yes.
well as all the ones who come through the door.
Yeah, we have our clinic cat
Absolutely.
Pixie, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun walking in there and getting inspected.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
going in there. I love to just see all the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to the shortage of medical
Yes.
help up here,
Yes.
I mean, what on earth can we do about that?
It's a hard one because I think it starts at the state level, as we all know, because
Yes.
you have to have something to draw people to the area.
Right.
There's been talk about the issue with no emergency vets in this area, But I mean, we have a shortage of general practice vets. So if you
Right.
can't even have general practice, it's hard to have emergency.
Right.
And you know, I know there's been discussion about how the vets in this area used to be on call for emergencies, and how people are disappointed that they're not. I mean, personally, myself, I work overtime every single week. Dr. Hunter
I know.
is, you know, and that's the same with all the other vets in the area. So
Yeah.
they're not able to provide the same standard of care if they were to add more hours onto the already
And nor
existing.
should they be expected to.
No.
Yes.
I mean, they are entitled, you all are entitled to have a life too.
Yes.
That it doesn't help if you burn out.
Exactly.
That,
That's just
that's no
silly.
fix.
Yeah.
Dr. Hunter's been at it for quite a while now,
Yeah.
hasn't she?
Yep. And she, you know, she loves her job and everything.
Oh, yeah,
And she
but-
would,
But, yes.
exactly.
And she, to put it less politely, is not in her first youth.
right. Right.
We are all aging.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've as a community got to come up with some different answers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's ways of brainstorming that.
Yeah.
And clearly, we're not going to fix that problem right here,
No
right now.
matter how much we'd
Although,
love to.
if I
would love
ruled the
it.
world,
That
I
would be
could.
awesome.
Exactly.
But there has to be a way of dealing with that, you know, a clinic or something.
Yes, yes. I mean, a lot of it, you know, is, you know, we do need something to just draw people in general to
Yeah.
the area, to help with, you know, with industry in general and jobs, and something to, you have to have enough people here to draw more veterinarians, to draw more doctors, and
And transportation.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
That's a big deal.
Yes, especially we're a rural area. Even if
Yes.
you live here in Newport, you know, to get from Newport to Derby is,
You can't get anywhere.
No.
There's nothing.
yeah.
I mean, there is RCT, but they're very limited in what
Yes,
they can
they're
provide.
always looking for more
Yes.
drivers.
and doing the best they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what would be the most help to you guys as an organization to help you thrive and to continue doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I mean, I think right now one of the biggest things we're doing is we are starting a spay-neuter voucher program to help the community, because we believe in meeting issues at the root of the problem as opposed to trying to address.
Don't get
Absolutely.
pregnant.
Yes,
It's pretty basic.
you know, and we, you know, everyone loves puppies, and we do stand behind ethical breeders.
Yes.
But there are not as many
Oh,
ethical
there's some
breeders.
awful
No.
breeders.
Yes, and you know, it's if you're ethically breeding your dog, you're not part of the problem. But there
Right.
are a lot of people who either think, you know, it's a great way to make a couple extra bucks, or they just, you know, aren't educated and their dog gets pregnant and they just don't know what to do, and they sell the puppies, and then they have more puppies, and
I don't know breeders who make money.
exactly, exactly.
I know ethical breeders, but
Yes.
making money
Is
is
not what
not
they're
something
doing.
that
No.
happens. They may sort of sustain a level. They're
Yes.
not losing money, but they're not making money.
Exactly, and they're doing it to better the breed and
Yeah.
for the breed that they love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really different. So when I hear people talk about, well, if my dog has puppies, we can make,
Yes.
yeah, in your dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
In
I mean,
your
puppy
dreams.
food alone. I mean, look at a bag of dog food right now. It's
And anything can go
It's
wrong.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep. So.
Cat food is too.
Yes. Yes, I know. She says, "I'll eat a whole bag. Just let me."
And she probably
And then
would.
you'll be at the weight that I like. And then I get in trouble. Then I get in trouble by Dr. Hunter.
So what else do you think would be really helpful?
Pretty much.
We've
We've been
I wanna be a
fundraising,
laptop.
fundraising to get like the supplies that they need, support from the community
Yeah.
as far as the fundraising goes. for
So if
the-
somebody is a foster parent, they're not necessarily, unless they're able, expected to feed the dog all
Exactly.
by themselves.
We take
You're
care of
able to
that as-
help with that
yes.
through donations.
Yes.
Correct,
yeah,
and
we-
that's where we get that
Yeah.
money from, is
Yeah.
our donations to keep going.
Yep. Yeah, we would
Yeah,
never
for
expect a
vetting and
foster.
dog food and
Yeah.
collars and leashes and
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
We get some donations for, like, we just got some dog beds and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know, and some collars, but they're
Yeah.
expensive. It
They
adds
are.
up after
Yeah,
a while.
yeah.
'Cause you obviously
Dog
don't want
toys.
junk.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and
Exactly.
everything, you know,
Yep.
even once they go into their foster to adopt homes, we still continue to pay for all of those supplies until the adoption is finalized.
And then that's it.
Yes. So even
Yeah.
like right now, we had a litter of 7 German Shepherd puppies, as well as another litter of 3 Pity Mix puppies that, the German Shepherd puppies, we got them when they were 4.5 weeks old. We will cover the cost for everything until they are 6 to 7 months old when they're spayed and neutered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, and the adoption fee for those puppies is $500, which seems like a lot to some people.
It's nothing.
It's not. It doesn't even cover the, the medical care.
No.
Right.
And then you add in the
dog
food
and
yeah.
and anything else they need, toys.
I mean, the obvious question is, how on earth do you get landed with that number of puppies in that amount of time? I mean, the answer is obvious.
Yes.
But it's appalling.
Yes, it truly
really
and
is. It was sad.
With the Shepherd puppies, this person had the 2 dogs, the adult dogs, with the intention of breeding them to make money. The mom dog, when the puppies were 4.5 weeks old, was like, nope, not going to feed them anymore. And then there was
Probably
too much
wasn't
work.
being fed herself, right?
Too much work, too much money, and then it was like, oh, let me get rid of them.
I hope the 2 adult dogs are gone too.
They have them still. The plan is for them to be spayed and neutered, but
Yeah, one never knows,
Exactly.
right?
These guys were lucky to make it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
Yeah. And that's the piece that's so hard for many of us, because personally I'd like to wring somebody's neck who does that, but
Yeah, and that's the hard
It is
part.
hard.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
It is.
There's a few individuals in the community who we have worked with multiple times with pets and such, and we often get asked by people like, well, how do you keep working with them? How are you so nice to them? Education. It is.
Right.
You have to.
You have to
Support 'em.
educate. That's
Yeah.
if you are rude to that person, or you just you may be angry as heck, but you have to try to educate them and try to show them the resources to try to stop the issue, because if not, and they don't feel like they have that communication or someone to go to, they're just going to get in over their
Of
head.
course.
Yes,
Of course.
absolutely.
And we did the same with Felines and Freds, going door to door.
Yes, they
but
did a great
sometimes it was
job.
really frustrating.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I can
As you
remember a few in
know, you
particular.
know.
Yes.
You think, how can you keep doing this?
Yes.
What could we do to change that?
Exactly. And sometimes you get lucky and you get that breakthrough, and
Sometimes you don't.
Yes. And the satisfaction from the ones where that does happen really just helps you get through the next one.
Exactly.
Right, Lexi? Yes.
You really are cute. I mean, I'd like to take you home, but I think my cats would be very unhappy about that.
Right?
She likes cats, doesn't she?
She does.
What?
She's good with
Oh, I
cats.
believe that she does.
Yeah, about your cats.
Oh, yeah, well,
Actually, one of my cats would.
Yeah.
The others, not so sure
Yeah.
about that. They're unamused by dogs.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor has 2 dogs. One's a Pity Mix.
Yeah.
And a couple of cats.
Yep.
And they have an electric fence.
Yeah.
And I watch the cat tease the dog just on the other side of the
Yes.
fence. It is
That's
so
too funny.
funny.
Yep. Cats sometimes, they're just too smart.
Yeah. But it's pleasure. And then the
Yes.
dog half catches the cat and they roll together and then they both take off.
That's
It's
awesome.
wonderful to watch. It
Yes.
really is.
Yeah.
So if people have some extra energy and they'd like to come and walk a dog for you, they can contact you and
Yes.
do that. This is a video, obviously, and it
Yeah.
will go out on public access TV, but it's also a YouTube video that
Oh,
can be
great.
posted anywhere.
Yes.
So at the bottom of that, we will have contact information for
Perfect.
you.
Yes.
And I know you have a Facebook page.
Yes.
yes.
Do you have a website?
We do.
Yes.
Yes. Friends for Life Dog Rescue. Yeah.
So you have somebody who maintains your
Yes,
website.
we have a fantastic volunteer who does that for us.
So there's another volunteer
Yes.
thing
Yes,
that people can
absolutely.
do.
Yes, exactly. So many things.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have so much.
Yeah, like we said, vet runs, even they always need dog food. We work with the farmyard store for that, and they can go, pick up dog food for us and drop that off at foster homes, because some of our foster homes are not in this immediate area. They might be, a half hour, 40 minutes away,
Yeah.
and with their work schedule may not be able to make it to the farmyard store during regular hours. So there's so many things like that, you know, if you have an extra hour to spare, we can find something
When
to have you do.
events, we always need
Something
hands-on.
like picking up a load of dog food and ferrying it
Yeah.
to Newport or Derby line is
Yeah.
no big deal for
Yeah.
many of us.
Right,
No.
especially if you're already making a trip, you know?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of us visit that store anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
For obvious reasons.
Yes, no, they've been a great partner.
They have.
As well as Animal Kingdom grooming
Yeah.
and doggy daycare and Fetch and Focus dog training.
Fetch and Focus is awesome.
Yeah.
The potato, the rescue that I have, I'm fostering. We went to the
Potato's
training.
yours. I've seen
Yes.
Potato online.
Yes.
He went to training and he did amazing there. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yeah, so community partners really make a
it's
big
helping,
difference.
It's helping him tremendously.
Yeah.
Now he just
Do you
needs-
encourage those who are fostering or involved to take the dog to a training program?
Yeah, especially the ones that need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potato really needed it.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, we're going to try this. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of those
Yes.
situations where someone
he
got a
really
puppy
needed.
Yeah.
and he was
Did
too
nothing.
much.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's 90 pounds of pure power.
Yes. He's the sweetest
But
guy.
He is
and
the biggest love bug.
Yeah.
He just wants his own people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be ready to have them.
Yes.
If you can let him
absolutely.
go.
I have to let him go. I have 4 dogs.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sounds like he would benefit from a family with kids and lots of energy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He loves to play ball.
Yeah.
Takes his ball everywhere.
So you could even use a volunteer to market your products,
Yes.
merchandise,
Yes.
which is a
Absolutely.
great way of advertising.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. All those little things.
Yes. Very helpful.
Yeah.
We are about out of time. If there were closing thoughts that you would like to leave people with that can both help you, can help your mission, which is to rescue and shush. Who asked you? That was an
Says I have
It's
stuff
okay.
to say.
He's protecting
okay.
she.
It's okay.
Good girl.
Did somebody peer in the window?
Yeah, it was Todd.
That was scary. I love how quickly she turns around. Oh, okay, I did my job.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Just like cookies.
What else would you like now?
Well,
So,
Yes.
as we look into the future, what do you want for this organization?
I guess to make a footprint as far as trying to help the public and kind of teaching them how to help their animals or making awareness, I guess, basically, and to help these guys here get homes and be safe.
Yeah.
I guess that's the main focus.
Yeah. I think the ultimate goal is to eventually not need shelters and
That too.
rescues.
That
You know,
too.
to educate
And
people.
and people know that they need to spay
Yeah.
and neuter their animals.
Exactly. I mean, that's a long time coming,
Yes.
but
Right.
Yes, but it's still, it's a
There will
thought.
always be
Miss
puppies,
Lexi.
whether you fix
Well,
the
yeah.
majority.
yes,
Yeah.
Correct, but
exactly.
to get a litter of puppies and not know if you're going to keep them or not, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And if people could just see that, what they went through, I think that it would be more of an eye-opening.
Yeah. Yes, it
So,
would.
Yeah,
And believing that animals are not disposable.
they're not.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
We don't give puppies for Christmas
No,
and then
exactly.
dump them in the new year.
Yes. Right. We don't get puppies for Christmas. We don't give bunnies for Easter. It's
Yeah,
That's
it's
barbaric.
everything,
Yes, exactly. It's it's a living thing that requires a commitment.
Yep.
Or little chicks that are
Yes.
coloured
Yes.
pink and blue and
Exactly.
makes me crazy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just want to make a difference, huh, Lexi?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, Lexi says she's doing her bit.
Yes.
doing
You guys
great.
are clearly doing more than your bit. And
you.
let's hope that a lot of people step up and become
That
involved.
would be great.
Because your mission's wonderful.
That would be great.
And as you've said so clearly, there's so many ways to be involved
Yes.
that don't mean you have to take somebody like Lexi home with you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Thank you so much.
And we'll look at ways of being able to keep doing this.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe give airspace to the next Lexi
Yeah.
or Potato
Lexi.
or...
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do it again.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Pam.